Well, on the odd occasion, a few people have said when they've met me that, oh, you're the metal god. Not so. A, I don't have the name trademarked, but I wouldn't be anywhere near as metal godly as this great man we have on the air right now, Mr. Rob Halford from Judas Priest. It's an absolute honour to be talking with you again, Rob, of course, on the eve of the release of the brand new record, Redeemer of Souls. Welcome to AndrewHogue.com, Mr. Rob Halford.
Well, Andrew, that's a great introduction. I really appreciate it. It's very good to speak with you again, my friend, and looking forward to spreading the message, as you say, about Judas Priest's latest metal opus, Redeemer of Souls.
Now let's get right into the brand new record. Of course, Nostradamus was a very bold release for Judas Priest, and one with obviously varying reactions and opinions about it. Talk to us about what sort of got the inspiration into working together on writing another Judas Priest album, considering that the band's history is just beyond words. Where is the motivation just to keep making Judas Priest heavy metal?
Well, I think it's the same ingredients that we started off with, Andrew. You know, we love playing this kind of music. We love writing heavy metal music. That's all we've ever wanted to be known for. And as you say, you know, the band has been very kind of diverse and progressive and very adventurous over the years with our metal. But I think at the heart of what we do is what we feel is best described for Judas Priest as just being a classic heavy metal band, a classic British heavy metal band. And for us to follow up after Nostradamus, our one and only concept record, which we had a great time with, and as you point out, you know, concept albums, they are quite unusual, so you do get different responses to them. We still love the fact that we achieved that dream that we've been wanting to do for so many years, and we still have things in the pipeline to follow up with Nostradamus in the years to come. But the fact of the matter is now that 6 years later, we've gone back, you know, we've gone back to re-establishing and reaffirming all of the strong components of what makes Judas Priest the band that it is, and you can certainly hear that with our latest release, Redeemer of Souls.
And as we know about the band's, you know, longevity, I mean, obviously today there's a lot of fans who would like to cement, you know, the specific era of the group, and always feel, especially when I speak to a lot of bands that have, you know, not all of them have lengthy careers as Judas Priest, but some of them are, you know, have been around for quite a number of years. It almost seems like a no-win situation. The band comes out with something new. Older fans don't like it because they want it to be in a specific time to keep them sort of in that era. Or if the band sort of, you know, kind of reproduces something of an earlier era, other fans said, they're just ripping off themselves. It almost does feel like there is it's a no-win situation today for a band like Judas Priest, who make Judas Priest music, yet so many people want a specific type of Judas Priest. How do you find that kind of, does that sort of go through the band's mind when it comes to writing music?
Yeah, well, naturally it does, you know, and I've always equated this kind of thinking with, you know, your favourite football team in Australia, whatever your team might be, however your players might change, however the game strategy might change a little bit, your favourite team is still the same. You know, you still support your team regardless of where they go, and that's pretty much the same, I think, that happens with any band that's had the good fortune of longevity. Priest has lived strong and proud for 40 years due to our incredible fans all over the world, and I'll definitely acknowledge our fans all over Australia for being part of that incredible thing that's happened to us. But you just go into writing mode, you go into the studio, again with your heart in the right place, and you do the best music that you can, that you feel truly represents you at that particular moment. And so this is what Judas Priest is trying to say with our metal in 2014 on our 40th anniversary.
Now, I've read a few interviews with Glenn about just sort of how much Richie Faulkner, the guitarist, has sort of ignited the spark even brighter for Judas Priest. I mean, it has been a number of years since KK left the group. Do you miss writing music with him? Do you miss him as a friend? How do you feel about that today?
Well, again, I think that any band will tell you, Andrew, any band that's been together for a long time will say it feels like a bit like an extended family, you know. you're literally living in each other's lives on the tour bus, you know, in the studio, whatever it might be. It's a very special bond of friendship that's difficult to break. So KK's off in his world. We thoroughly support him and wish him well. His legacy is well cemented in Judas Priest's life and in the world of heavy metal music. And we feel that that's exactly what's going to happen with Richie Faulkner in the future. You know, his contribution to this record is just phenomenal. His writing skills, his on-stage performance, and his just general all-round completeness as a player is quite extraordinary. And so we're thrilled to have Richie with us, and it makes sure that the future for Judas Priest is a solid and a strong one.
And talking about the future, as we know, the sort of generations of bands today, and it's also attention spans. What sort of thoughts do you see on the future of music? As I mentioned, because things are pretty instant today and thrown away tomorrow. What sort of hope, or do you see any sort of future of bands having such lengthy careers as Judas Priest, or you think that is just not attainable today?
I think it's attainable, Andrew. I think at the heart of it is you love us. If you're a metalhead, especially with metal, I think we're very fortunate in the fact that our fans, once they find us, once they hear our music, come to our shows, they generally tend to stick with us. That's the incredible thing that metalheads have been doing all over the world, and particularly for Judas Priest. When I stand on the stage now and look across the audience, it's everybody from all walks of life as it ever was, and particularly thrilling and heartwarming. The new young metalheads barely out into their teens that have got a vast wealth of music to look at and listen to, and they choose you as your favourite band. That's a terrific thrill. It's a great honour. So I think with metal especially, the way that we support each other with that kind of music is a little bit different to some of the other styles of music in the world. And so we're blessed in that respect, Andrew, that it's that saying I've always said that, once a metalhead, always a metalhead, and I think that works wherever you go.
Now, when you mentioned about a wealth of material, I mean, I don't know really how you remember it all, because there's so much Judas Priest music. I'm not sure if you've read the recent quote from Iron Maiden frontman Bruce Dickinson just regarding the whole sort of teleprompter situation. Do you have a comment about that?
Well, the first thing I'll say about that is this. Bruce Dickinson is a good mate of mine. Yeah. I love him to death. I think he's an incredible singer. He's a great showman. He's in a wonderful band, Iron Maiden, one of the biggest metal bands in the world. And as far as what people say about each other, I don't think it really means that much, to be quite honest. We say whatever we say, depending on the day and the emotion that we're at. I know Bruce's heart is in the right place, and he just said what he said, and that's about all there is to comment in that respect.
Yeah. Well, let's move forward and talk about a possible Australian tour. The band's only been to Australia once. Well, of course, you've been to Australia a couple of times with Fight as well. But as far as Judas Priest with yourself at the front, it's only been one time. Are we looking at a possible visit back to Australia on this record?
Well, Andrew, I'm delighted to let you know that, yeah, that's what we are. We're looking at that whole scenario right now. We're planning to start the touring here in America in October. We'll do a couple of months' work over here. Then we'll take a Christmas holiday break. And then we're looking to come over, hopefully, to your part of the world early next year. I know the agents and the promoters and management are all, conflabbing back and forth, trying to put something together. So, we'd love to come back on those instances that we have visited. We've had a blast. We've had a wonderful time. The metalheads are incredibly strong and supportive to Priest and to metal in general. And of course, Australia has really significant events now, more than ever. What does he call it, Down the Green? Or am I getting my days?
Well, there's actually quite a number of festivals now. We have Big Day Out, we have Soundwave. Soundwave's more for us. Yeah, exactly.
So, Australia is a very, very important place in the world of music, not only metal, but in music all over. So, Priest needs to come back. So, all the metalheads, you know, start calling your promoters and get the Priest back over, because we want to come and play for you guys again. We want to come and play all of those wonderful Priest classics that you love to hear. Plus, we want to play you our music from Redeemer of Souls as we celebrate our 40th anniversary together.
Well, speaking of the 40th anniversary, I know our time's limited, so just a quick one. One of your best highlights ever in Judas Priest that springs to mind that you could share with us?
Oh, Lord, there's so many of them. There really is so many of them. You know, I'll go back to, because we're talking about 40 years, Andrew, I'll go back to the day when the postman knocked at my front door in my home in Walsall, and I opened the door and he said, "This is for you." And it was one copy of the very first record that Judas Priest ever made, Rock-a-Roller. I'll never forget that day because, you know, that meant, at least in my mind, that I'd made it. I was in a professional band. I'd made my first ever professional recording, and this was an opportunity for that music now to be pressed in vinyl, as it was in those days, and sent all over the world. So that happened 40 years ago. And the same thing is about to happen again, Andrew, and it's just an incredible time to reflect and to, again, say how grateful we are to our fans all over the world, including Australia, for keeping the metal alive.
Well, keep our fingers crossed for the band to return to Oz. We can get you to choose your favourite song from the record Redeemer of Souls, and also one of your favourite classic Judas Priest songs of all time.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the title track. The title track for Redeemer of Souls is obviously called the same thing, and it's just a really great, vibrant statement of where the band is and what we're doing now. So this would be Redeemer of Souls from the new release from Judas Priest, Redeemer of Souls. And as far as classics go, again, wow, there's so many to choose from. But I think I'm just going to go with the tried and true and trusted one from the British Steel album. This is Metal Gods from Judas Priest.
Fantastic. An absolute honour to be speaking with you, Rob, and fingers crossed again that the band makes it back to Australia in the not-so-distant future.
My pleasure, Andrew. Always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Keep in touch, and I hope I'll see you sometime next year when we come back to Australia.
You bet. Let's check out some Judas Priest now here on andrewhogue.com. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, mate. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye now.